So, let's say you're at the camera shop and you're watching this because you need help deciding on what kind of lens filter to get. Do keep watching because I'm gonna share with you all you need to know about lens filters so you don't get conned. Now I was that guy. I was the guy that was too eager to get into photography, went to the camera shop, bought a DSLR, didn't have any lens, so I bought the kit lens with it. It was obvious that I was a novice and it is the perfect time for the salesman to hard sell. I left the shop happy because I had so many new toys, new filters to play with, but now I wish I had done research about filters before I bought them. So here's the 3 main types of lens filters that you should know. Now, first up is a UV filter. It is essentially a clear glass that not only protects from ultraviolet light but also serves a bigger purpose. For me, I use it on all my lenses. Your lens, regardless of whether it's an expensive or cheap piece of glass, will have multi-layer coatings at the front element. If you leave the front element of the lens exposed without a filter, regular cleaning alone can already erode away the multi-layer coating. I'd be very much happy scratching or even breaking this than putting harm on my lens glass. Now, even though this is a basic filter I recommend for all your lenses, there are some things that you need to look out for. The thickness, the multi-coating and the clarity of the glass affects how much this will cost. In practice, if you need to choose a filter for a wide angle lens, do choose something that has a low sidewall height. This is to prevent vignetting in the image, usually caused by thick filters. Premium brands like this B+W filter also come with thicker and better quality glass. Their coatings are also smudge resistant, so that explains the higher price tag. Next up are polarizer filters. They are usually darker by 1 stop. Ever heard of polarizer shades? These are essentially the same thing. Their main job is essentially to remove glare and reduce reflections. Now, if you were to use it in landscape photography, they actually darken skies, so improving the image. Now, there's something you need to know about circular polarizer filters, is that they are essentially 2 pieces of glass sandwiched together. So you will mount your filter on your lens, and then there's this front element which you can twist and turn depending on the creative outcome that you want from your image. Next up is your neutral density filter. What it does is essentially shades for your lens. Now I'm just holding up the filter against the lens. You can see it's already making the image darker. This filter comes in various degrees from 1 stop all the way even up to 10 stops. There's a specific mount for this type of filters and it's mounted directly on the lens just like any other filter. And then you can slot in as many of these panels in order to achieve the creative outcome that you desire. Now I almost forgot to mention why you would want to use an ND filter. Take the situation that you have all your settings, your ISO, aperture and shutter speed all locked in, but there's still too much light coming into the camera. In example, you have your aperture fully open for that bokeh effect, or you're intending to use a very long exposure but there's still too much light coming in. Now that's where you apply an ND to help cut the light coming into the camera even further. Now a variation of the ND filter is a graduated ND filter. There's a gradient going halfway through the filter and they come in many shades and colors. For this gradient ND filter, its job is mainly to reduce the amount of light coming from specific areas of the picture. Like now, if I wanted to darken my left side, I can actually just slide up the filter and I can adjust according to how much darkness I need. Okay, that's about right. Now the final variation of an ND filter is a variable ND filter. These filters are similar to polarizer filters where there are 2 layers of glass, except now there are multiple shades of ND filters within them. Now here are my opinions on the 3 types of filters. For your UV filter, get them for all of your lenses. You may want to get a cheap one or expensive one depending on your budget, but trust me, you will not regret it. For the polarizer and variable ND filter, they are thick pieces of glass. They can be quite expensive. The thicker the glass, the higher the quality needed and the higher the price tag that it will come with. You can invest in a good one, and then I suggest that you also get these things called step up or step down rings. This is so you can use that one filter for all the lenses that you have, even though you have different filter thread sizes. So actually, what was the mistake? I bought filters that were for the kit lens. So eventually I upgraded lenses and then I realized that all these filters cannot fit anymore. Some more being that the new lenses were of bigger thread sizes, so I couldn't possibly use my old filters. So you, my friend, don't make the same mistake. Alright, that's all I have for you. It's supposed to be a very short episode, but I've given you all that I know about filters. Do give me a thumbs up if you've liked the video. I'll be back to my regular tutorial episodes this Friday, so do subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Now, first up is a UV filter. It is essentially a clear glass. Ever heard of polarizer shades? These are essentially the same thing. Their main job is essentially to remove glare and reduce reflections. Is that they are essentially 2 pieces of glass sandwiched together. What it does is essentially shades for your lens.